In 1787, our founders gathered to write our Constitution. But after a month or so of deliberation, things were going nowhere. In fact, it looked like the whole thing could fall apart. And Ben Franklin stood up one day and he said, our lack of political wisdom is very apparent. It's as though we're groping about in the dark, he said. Haven't we once thought of appealing to the Father of lights for illumination? He said, we've looked at ancient forms of republics that rose and fell. We've looked at modern day Europe, and we haven't found an acceptable form of government. And then he called to everybody's memory. He said, remember in our struggle with Great Britain, we were very aware of the danger we were in. And so we gathered in this very room every day to ask for divine protection. And we all saw many instances of that divine protection throughout the war and ultimately in the victory. Have we now forgotten our faithful friend? Or do we imagine we no longer need his assistance? I like what he said next. He said, I have lived, sir, a long time, and the longer I live, the more convincing proofs I see of this truth, that God governs in the affairs of men. And if a sparrow cannot fall to the ground without his notice, is it probable that an empire can rise without his aid? We've been assured, sir, in the sacred writings, that except the Lord build, they labor in vain that build it. And I firmly believe this. And I also believe that without his concurring aid, we shall succeed in this political building no better than the builders of Babel. And so he made a proposal that they would begin every morning with prayer after that. They brought in a pastor every morning and had prayer. That motion was passed, and that's what they did. And that was literally the turning point in the Constitution, in writing our Constitution. And about a year later, it was ratified. And what they needed then, God's divine wisdom, guidance, strength, protection, is the same thing that we need now. Yeah, the last 3 years things have gotten pretty crazy, and it's easy to get down. But the truth is, there's millions of people praying. A couple of us here have weekly prayer meetings with friends and neighbors to pray for our country, and we invite you to do the same. Because God is not done with America. In fact, He's only just begun, and our best is yet to come. Welcome to the Great Awakening.